Bazali bogogo nomkhulu sakala sendoda lesi ugogo Bathini Mbatha mawuvula kuvala emzilamo yamadoda namhlanje sikhuluma nge-calling ubizo. Guys, avoid responding to a calling you are not sure about. Allow me to repeat this. Avoid to respond to a calling you are not sure about. Avoid to respond to a calling that you are only being told by the traditional healer which you have a calling. And there are no signs in you. There are just no signs in you. You know, even if you can sit down, if you can be given an opportunity to sit down, and the cell phone to be removed, everything to be removed, just for you to have a self-introspection, for you to have enough sleep, just for you not to have any stress and everything, and you'll realize that you don't have a calling. You don't have a calling. But there's somebody and people that are pestering you and telling you one thing all over and all over again. Then the question will be, Gogo, then why there's more than 5 people who are telling me one thing? Simple. It's because of they are telling you what you want to hear. It's because when you go and do a consultation with a traditional healer, all you have in your mind is the fact that I have a calling. Or they say I have a calling. I want to hear another person. And people, they get excited. Oh, Gogo, they say I have a calling, and so I don't know, I just came here to find out. Gogo, yazi kuthiwa nginabantu abadala manje angazi ukuthi njoba ngizelana ngifuna ukuzothola ukuthi lesi sikhwama engisiphethe sikabani. No. Give a traditional healer an opportunity for them to see exactly what is your problem, not to see whether you have a calling or not, but to see what are you here for. Let me repeat this. Go and consult with a traditional healer for them to tell you why you are there and what seems to be a problem in your life, not whether you have a calling or not, because consultation is not all about whether you have a calling or not. There are many things that can appear while you are being consulted to, in terms of saying, you have a challenge here. This is a problem. I see this is happening in your life. I see this is happening in your life. This is a problem that you have, which is, it's beyond just to say, do I have a calling or not? That's why you find many people who are saying, Gogo, I've been to a training to become a Sangoma, but I don't know what's happening. Everything is quiet. There are no people coming at home and everything. Yes, because you have sold yourself. You've went to a traditional healer, and traditional healer, they've told you what you want to hear. And they could see what you can afford. If you look at people now, most people, not everybody, but most people, and everything, beads and everything, you know, they look attractive, they look so professional, they look like, yeah, the real stuff, the real Sangoma and everything. Those are the people that went for training to become traditional healers because they could afford to go through that training. Not because of they have a calling, because they could afford to go through that calling. Then they went through, and because of they were told what they wanted to hear. It's like umuntu ozala we-embethe uzo umuntu athi, hey Gogo, kuthiwa nginengubo, hey Gogo, kuthiwa mangalungisa ingubo yami, everything will be fine. Guess what? You do it and things are still not okay. We did a video that we are talking about the time zone of ancestors and the time zone of us are not the same. You can perform a ritual today. Now you can perform a ritual today. The ritual that traditional healers have been bothering you to say, you need to go through this ritual, otherwise your stuff will never be okay. You do that ritual, guess what? You wait and wait and wait. Let's take a simple example. Let's say you are 30 years of age. and you've heard about this ingubo thing, the veil that you were born with and everything, from the age of 20. Now you are 30 and things are not going well. You don't get married, you don't get kids, you don't have a girlfriend, you don't have a boyfriend, you are unemployed, you tried business, is not successing, and then all you are told about is they say, let's say definitely you do have ingubo and you do have to go through that ritual. Then you perform that ritual. Do not expect that ritual to show you results tomorrow. You may even wait for another 30 years for your things to open up. You may even wait for another 30 years for the things to open up. Why, Gogo? Why? It's because the time zone is not the same. What we believe in, how we do things on earth is different how our ancestors are doing things. So it is very important that before you go through a training, before you perform anything that has to do with a calling, make sure, please, absolutely make sure that you are sure, not just being sure of being convinced, but make sure that you are sure in a sense that you can confirm yourself that yes, I have a calling. If you come to me and say, Gogo, I'm not here for consultation, I'm here for an advice. I was told several times that I have a calling. I want to find out how do I go about my calling and everything. I will say to you, I will ask you a simple question. I will say, you have been told more than once that you have a calling. So you are here to find out how can you go about it. But what are you saying? You've been told. What are you saying regarding what you've been told about in terms of your calling? Then a person will say, yes, I believe it. And then say, why to say you believe it? Because to me, it's beyond. If you come to me as Gogo Bathini Mbatha, you'll realize that I go beyond just consultation. We communicate. We talk. We have one-on-one. And I don't care about people who are waiting outside, because everybody that comes in will have their opportunity. Because I'm in a different space. I'm in a different space. I'm with you in flesh, but I'm somewhere else. So the questions that I'm asking you, they don't come from me, they come from Gogo again. Then Gogo will ask me to say, then why do you say yes, you have a calling? Then the person will say, no, I go through this is what I see at night, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. And you can see the person that has a calling of how they flow in giving you answers. And you can see those who don't have a calling, how short their answers are. I calling. Yes, I know. I believe that I have a calling and everything. There's another lady who came to me. I said, no, I had a lot of danger vus that are happening. I'll see something and the next thing is happening. I'll do that. I said, but you haven't said anything to me. And they'll ask, what do you mean, Gogo? I said, how do you confirm? What are your visions when you're sleeping? And let's talk about constant visions that you had from your childhood up to now. Don't tell me about what you're experiencing now. Because sometimes you think you have a calling because of your friend is now a Sangoma. You think you have a calling because of you've had a conversation of people who are talking about the calling at the bus, at the train or wherever. Then that thing automatically builds some sort of a picture into your mind, and that picture transformed into a vision when you are sleeping, and then you now think you have a calling. Kanti, it's something that you slept thinking. That's why I always say there's a difference between iphupho and isibonakaliso, because iphupho is what most of the time is what you were thinking about. Isibonakaliso is what you are being shown to you, that is what is being shown to you by your ancestors. So it is very important that you understand your calling. Then the question will be, Gogo, then what do I do moving forward? I want to know ukuthi ngangena ubani, who's the owner of this calling, because everybody that has a calling is not their calling. That calling belongs to somebody who is now an ancestor. The calling that I have is not mine. It's not mine. That's why I have to respect it beyond the reasonable doubts. That's why even my bookings are so transparent, because I cannot afford to run away from people. It is not in me in general. At the same time, I do not have a choice but to meet and to face any challenges that comes with this calling. Because the owners of this calling, they say, don't worry, we will protect you. And they've always did, and they'll always do. So it is very important that be careful when you are being told to say, the calling that you have, the owner of this calling is your grandmother. The owner of this calling is your grandfather. Personally, that's lies. Those are lies. The reason I'm saying those are lies is because the owner of the calling must come to you and tell you to say, this is who I am, this is what I want you to do, not a traditional healer. You can go and argue with your traditional healer, but I'm telling you, your calling, it has to come to you. You are the one who has to confirm your calling. You are the one who has to tell the traditional healer. Even if the traditional healer can say, yes, when it's your grandmother that is want you to do things for them and everything, you need to say yes or no. Gogo, so what must I do? Must I go and twasa, or I mustn't? Must I be a prophet? I mustn't. Exactly my point. Again, it is the owner of the calling that must tell you to say, I don't want muti. I don't want those red clothes. I don't like that. I don't like that. I want this. I want that. Not a traditional healer. That's why, again, you find people being so much frustrated. Kupeli and everything. You see a lot of divorces. I've seen many people who have divorced and everything. And you ask them, oh, what happened? And say, Gogo, I thought I had a calling. You know, I went to a traditional healer. They told me I have a calling and everything. I went to do the training. And when I came back, my life went from worse to worse. And from worse to worse and down the drain. Gogo, I'm left with nothing. I'm left with amabai. I'm left with beats. I'm left with muti that I came from the training with. And there's nothing. Other people, they get into the training with a calling, but they're at the wrong place. They're at the wrong place. When they entered there, they knew everything. They could consult. They could tell people their problems. But when they leave that place, they have nothing. Why? Because your ancestors have shown you to say, go and perform your training at the Nkosi family. But you've decided to go to Gogo Bathini Mbatha because of Bathini Mbatha, that is known by whoever, because of somebody, because of your friend is closer to Gogo Bathini Mbatha, because your friend is consulting with Bathini, or because of you enjoy the consultation with Gogo Bathini Mbatha. But Gogo Bathini Mbatha that do not have the codes, doesn't have the codes of your ancestors. Gogo Bathini Mbatha doesn't have the exam papers for your calling. He doesn't. Yes, you know him. Yes, you feel comfortable with him, but your ancestors didn't choose him. You cannot go to a person because you like them. You go to the person because of your ancestors have shown you that person for more than once. There are many people who come to me and say, Gogo, I've been told about my calling. I don't know what to do anymore. The place that they are showing me, I'm not comfortable with. It's a neighbor. We don't trust him. We grew up saying Batekaya, we are Tagata and everything. But my ancestors, they say I must go there and do my training. I don't want to go there, Gogo. Gogo, would you help me? I'll pay you. I'll say no. I've always said that. I said no. Because I do not want to waste your time. And if I tell you to say, you have a calling, and you confirm it, And I said, you need to take a bath so that everything can be removed. You need a cleansing so that you can make sure that your ancestors are now communicating with you. Others, they just come and say, Gogo, I went to YouTube because I was sent to YouTube. I don't know. Sometimes others, they say, Gogo, I just found myself in YouTube. I didn't know what I was doing and everything. And I said to my mom, this is a guy I saw on my vision. Not once, not twice. I need to go to them for training. Then if you come for training and you decide to leave the training without any valid reasons and everything, trust me, you'll go the whole world, you'll never find help. Why? Because your ancestors, they've directed you to a certain place, but you have decided to say, no, you are going somewhere else. Today, we are not going to talk about the politics, about the challenges that comes with the calling. All I'm saying is, do not respond to a calling you are not sure about. It's a waste of money, it's waste of energy, it's the waste of relationships, it's waste of resources. You lose your job, you lose your friends, you lose your family, you lose everything. Why? Because you are following a calling that do not belong to you. And again, be careful about the friends when you are with them. Hey, yazi wenkosi mangubuka njena, I see your grandmother wants this, yazi, and stay away from traditional healing friends that are selling insurance. That's what I call them, that are selling insurance. Stay away from people that are going around cities, and when they see you fagi pai and everything, or they'll just stop you and telling you how gifted you are, how lucky you have and everything. You need help and everything. If you need advice, take my number and everything. Trust me, psychologically you'll be thinking about that person for the rest of your life. Because why? You were looking for that. Because why? You are desperate for your life to be confirmed by others. And then when a person asks you, how did you get here? What happened? How did you get into a place which so fun to us and everything? No, I met somebody in town, then they told me would have a calling. So, no, I took their numbers and contacted them, and I ended up being trained by them. Others, after you got into that wrong place, you don't have money. You go to the bank. This old man said to me, phone the wife to say withdraw whatever, accounts were frozen. The bad things started to happen and everything. When that guy decided to say no, I'm at the wrong place, and he left and everything, started to open again. Things started to happen. Why? Because he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. He was at the wrong place at the wrong time. So it is very important, Uguti, do not just respond. Do not just stand up and act on something you don't know, you're not sure about, and only because of you are being told to say you have a calling. A calling has become a lifestyle. You see people around towns, around wherever, they're wearing their beads. Others, like I see ladies, she's well dressed and everything. There's there's beads, they look beautiful and everything. We're living in the days whereby calling, it's a lifestyle. Calling, it seems like a cool thing. Calling, it seems like a easier way to make money. Calling, it seems like it's a must thing that should happen. Other people, they fight with their family because their family will say, Mtanami, I've raised you, you have never told me about any dream and everything. Where is this now coming from out of the blue? And then you fight with your parents and say, at home they don't understand. At home they don't want to accept my calling. At home they don't like me. At home this and this and this. Sometimes your parents are right. Sometimes your parents are wrong. Before you perform any ritual that has to do with a calling, please be sure. Don't be taken for the ride. Saluka sendoda uGogo Bathini Mbatha mavula kuvala emzilama yamadoda uAnti Usha. Thokozani.